Vibes. You talk about this being a global sport. How about the Filipino fans? For Alex Eala has become an absolute phenomenon on the courts. Here's an early Verizon vantage point.
The atmosphere at the BNP Paribas Open at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden has seen countless dramatic moments over the years, with the world's best players battling under the desert sun. But recently, something happened that completely shifted. The conversation around the tournament suddenly placed a rising young star at the center of global tennis attention. And that star is Alexandra Eala, whose viral moment during the tournament has stunned fans, commentators, and analysts alike, while spreading rapidly across social media and even catching the attention of the Tennis Channel, creating a buzz that many believe signals the arrival of a new era in women's tennis. The clip that started circulating online did not just show a typical rally or a routine point. It captured the raw energy surrounding Eala's presence at Indian Wells, with a crowd reaction that felt unusually intense for a young player still establishing herself on the professional stage. And as she stepped onto the court, the reaction from fans created an atmosphere closer to a championship final than an early round appearance. With cheers echoing through the stadium, Filipino flags were visible in the stands, and spectators raised their phones to record what they seemed to instinctively understand was a moment worth remembering. And within minutes, the footage began spreading online as tennis fans from around the world started sharing it across platforms, praising not only the energy of the crowd but also the poise and confidence displayed in the spotlight. For longtime followers of the sport, this moment felt symbolic because Indian Wells has historically been a place where future stars begin to capture the world's attention. A tournament often called the Fifth Grand Slam due to its prestige, massive crowds, and elite field of players. And when a young athlete manages to generate a viral moment there, it often indicates something larger than just a single match performance. It signals a growing presence within the global tennis conversation. And in Eala's case, the response was immediate as analysts began discussing her potential. Fans started revisiting her earlier matches, and commentators highlighted her impressive background, which includes a junior Grand Slam title and a reputation for playing fearless, aggressive tennis. What made the moment even more remarkable was the context surrounding her rise, because Eala represents a new wave of talent emerging from countries that historically have not dominated the professional tennis landscape. And the pride and excitement from Filipino fans have been a powerful force behind the momentum building around her, with supporters traveling to tournaments and filling online spaces with messages of encouragement and celebration, creating a community-driven hype that feels authentic rather than manufactured. And that authenticity is one of the reasons the viral video resonated so strongly with viewers, because it showed a genuine connection between players and fans rather than a scripted promotional moment. And once the clip appeared on major tennis media platforms, the discussion expanded rapidly as commentators on Tennis Channel began referencing the moment while analyzing the broader implications of Eala's growing popularity, noting that in modern tennis, the rise of a star is no longer determined solely by rankings or trophies, but also by the ability to capture the imagination of fans worldwide. Something that Eala seems to be doing naturally as her matches attract increasing attention and her highlights continue to circulate online. Another reason the viral moment struck such a chord is Eala's playing style, which blends athleticism, tactical intelligence, and a bold left-handed approach that allows her to create sharp angles and disrupt opponents' rhythm, making her matches entertaining to watch even for neutral viewers who may not have followed her career previously. And when that style is combined with visible determination and composure on big stages, the result is a player who appears comfortable embracing the pressure of high-profile tournaments. Something that was evident during the Indian Wells moment as she walked onto the court with confidence despite the cameras and crowd noise surrounding her, giving the impression of an athlete who understands the magnitude of the stage yet refuses to be overwhelmed by it. Social media users quickly began calling the phenomenon surrounding her the Eala effect, a phrase meant to describe the surge of interest that seems to accompany her appearances at major tournaments. And while such labels often fade quickly in the fast-moving world of online trends, The response to this particular moment suggests something more lasting because it has been echoed by commentators, former players, and tennis analysts who recognize the importance of fresh personalities entering the spotlight in order to keep the sport evolving and attracting new audiences, especially younger fans who engage heavily with viral clips and highlight reels. And in that sense, Eala's viral video represents more than just an isolated piece of content. It symbolizes the shifting dynamics of how tennis stories are told in the digital era, where a single clip can introduce millions of viewers to a player they may have never seen before. Beyond the excitement of the viral moment itself, the discussion it sparked also focused on Eala's journey leading up to Indian Wells, a path defined by years of dedication, training, and competition against increasingly strong opponents as she transitioned from a promising junior champion into a professional athlete seeking to establish herself on the tour. And those who have followed her career closely note that her development has been marked by steady progress rather than overnight success, with improvements in physical strength, shot selection, and match strategy gradually shaping her into a more complete player capable of challenging higher-ranked competitors. And that steady growth adds depth to the viral moment because it reminds fans that behind every sudden surge of attention lies a long period of preparation and persistence. Another interesting element of the story is how the crowd at Indian Wells responded so enthusiastically despite the tournament featuring many established stars, which speaks to the unique appeal it has developed among fans who enjoy discovering emerging talent before it reaches the very top of the rankings. And witnessing that discovery process unfold live in the stadium created a sense of shared excitement among spectators who felt they might be watching the early chapters of a major tennis career. An emotion that translated perfectly into the viral clip as viewers online could sense the atmosphere, even through a short video. Hearing the cheers and seeing the anticipation in the crowd as the young player prepared to compete on one of tennis's most iconic courts. The impact of the moment has also sparked conversations about the future of the women's game, where a new generation of players is gradually reshaping the competitive landscape with fresh styles and personalities. And while it is far too early to predict exactly how Eala's career will unfold, moments like the one at Indian Wells often serve as turning points that boost confidence, attract media attention, and inspire young athletes watching from around the world who see someone from their region stepping onto a global stage and earning recognition through talent and determination. As the viral video continues to circulate, fans are revisiting it not just for the excitement of the crowd, but also for what it represents symbolically. The idea that a young player can suddenly capture the imagination of the entire tennis community through a combination of skill, charisma, and timing. And that unpredictability is part of what makes sports so captivating because it reminds audiences that greatness can emerge in unexpected ways and that every tournament carries the possibility of revealing the next big star. For Eala, the challenge now will be to channel the momentum generated by this viral moment into continued growth on the court, maintaining focus amid increasing expectations while continuing to refine her game against tougher competition. A balance that many rising players struggle to manage as media attention grows. But those who have observed her composure so far believe she possesses the mindset necessary to handle the pressure and remain grounded as her profile expands. Regardless of what happens next in her career, the events at Indian Wells have already secured a place in the narrative of her journey because they represent the moment when a broader audience began paying attention. When a young athlete stepped onto one of tennis's biggest stages and generated a reaction powerful enough to travel across continents through screens and headlines, drawing praise from commentators, excitement from fans, and curiosity from analysts eager to see whether this surge of attention marks the beginning of something historic. And while tennis history is filled with stories of prodigies who briefly captured the spotlight before fading away, it is also filled with examples of champions whose first major wave of recognition began with a single unforgettable moment, often at a prestigious tournament like Indian Wells. And that is why the viral video has sparked such intense interest, because it carries the possibility that years from now fans might look back on it as the moment when the world first realized that Alexandra Eala was destined to become a major figure in the sport. A player capable of inspiring new audiences, energizing tournaments, and reminding everyone why tennis continues to captivate millions with its blend of drama, skill, and the timeless thrill of witnessing potential transform into greatness.